not here yet. With me in the room here is our man DJ Shanarang, and Lambert Charles is on the console. We're going to get cracking in a very short time. Well, let's say good evening to fans around the globe of Dominica, of course. First of all, every nook and cranny of Dominica. I know you're always glued to the big station Q95 every Thursday at 6 o'clock, waiting this big program, and all further afield all around the globe. So good evening to you. And cricket, of course, continues to dominate the sporting kaleidoscope for the moment. And of course, in Dominica, we had a test match going on. And I think we have Mr. Loblack on the other side, and he is present there. I think I can see him, yes. So if you're hearing me, just say good afternoon to the folks.
Yeah, so far so good. I can hear you.
Just say you're hearing.
With your bright yellow.
All right, thank you very much, Ruby, so you can hear. And
Yes.
yeah, okay, good. So there are lots of cricket, but of course, lots of tennis as well, because the famous Wimbledon keeps going on, and some very interesting developments in this year's Wimbledon. The man Novak Djokovic is poised to play another semi-final tomorrow. His opponent will be Yannick Sinner of Italy. This guy, Sinner, is now in the top 10. And last year when they played at Wimbledon, the first two sets, if I remember well, Sinner won the first two sets against Djokovic, who bounced back and won the last three. See, Djokovic is when he plays the longer sets, 5 sets, it's difficult to really beat him. Even though you win 1 or 2 sets, you're still not home and dry, because he's a man that goes in for the long haul. Sort of concentration, he has this with him aplenty. So tomorrow morning at 8:30 ESPN, Djokovic will be up against Sinner, and he'll be seeking, of course, to go through the semi-final for the final on Sunday. And the other semi-final, the other one, which starts about 10:30 tomorrow morning after Djokovic's match against Sinner, will be Medvedev up against Carlos Alcaraz, this young 21-year-old dynamite guy who has seen a perfect game, a complete game, speed, power, accuracy, everything, spin, all the attributes of a great tennis player. And he'll be up against Medvedev. That'll be a blockbuster as well of a semi-final. So 2 big semi-finals tomorrow at Wimbledon. 8:30, Novak Djokovic, who is seeking his 24th Grand Slam to tie with Margaret Court for the all-time record of any sex, man or woman, the highest number of Grand Slams, 24 being held by Margaret Court. So Djokovic is going for that record, and he has to first of all get through Sinner, young Sinner from Italy, tomorrow morning. And then Carlos Alcaraz, will be up against Medvedev. So tomorrow will be a big day, crackerjack of 2 semi-finals. Now, let's look at the women. We can't forget the women. Today at Wimbledon, a lady called Ons Jabeur. She is an Arab from Tunisia, as a part of Africa. Ons Jabeur. She looks like an Arab, highly colored girl, but she is making waves in the tennis world, Lobby. Ons Jabeur is in the final. She beat today Aryna Sabalenka. Who is Aryna Sabalenka? She was I think the Australian Open champion, and she's ranked number 2 in the world. She went down today to Ons Jabeur.
Jabeur.
Jabeur. Jabeur.
Yep.
Girl from Tunisia, Arab girl from Tunisia. And then you had today as well, very important match, Elina Svitolina. Elina Svitolina is a Ukrainian, married to Gael, the guy who, Monfils, the French tennis player. He just had a baby. I think the baby is about 6 months old. She's making a comeback. Her name is Elina Svitolina. Well, she came across a girl from the Czech Republic called Vondrousova, and she lost today in an epic match at Wimbledon. Svitolina lost 3-6, 3-6. So I never heard before about Vondrousova. She might have been around for some time. She
Wild, a wild seed.
yes, could be a wild card. I don't know. She doesn't look very young to me. She looks about 29, 30.
True.
Right, but her name is Vondrousova. But Lobby, it looks as though many people from the Czech Republic, formerly Czechoslovakia, some very top players have come from there. Remember the great Navratilova and Petra Kvitova and many others. So I think the Czech Republic have been producing a lot of tough, very good tennis players.
Oh, yeah.
She'll be playing Svitolina. She beat Svitolina today, so she'll be in the finals. So the final this Saturday morning, Lobby. Yeah, go ahead.
The person to me, the most, the person that who really highlighted to me was that young black guy from Atlanta, Christopher Eubanks.
Right, I was coming to that. He was what you call like a fairy tale. They call it a Cinderella story. The guy was out of the top 100 just a few months ago. This man beat Tsitsipas. He gave Medvedev, the great Medvedev, a run for the money. Went to 5 sets,
I think his serve, if he can on his serve, he'll be a force to reckon with in the future.
Yeah. He's called Christopher Eubanks. He's around for some time, but
28 years.
He shocked the tennis world.
I'm telling you, yeah.
Yeah.
My disappointment also is that guy Tiafoe. Tiafoe
is not living up to his past reputation. Well, recent past, I'd say, because remember, he beat Nadal in some quarterfinal match last year, an epic match as well. He seemed to have been on the way up.
But I think to my problem with Tiafoe, he's trying to be too friendly. You got to focus on your game. All right? This is happening to this young black girl, Coco Gauff.
Mm-hmm.
Coco Gauff is too much in social media, too much hype on her. Concentrate on your game.
Mm-hmm.
Too much, they have her in fashion, they have her in this, they have her in that. You got to focus on tennis.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Lobby, our friend Naomi Osaka, she just made a baby as well recently. She's not married, and she's quite some time. She's had 4 Grand Slams and has been off for quite some time. She left her parents' home, went shacking up, I'd call it.
I know. Too much money.
Had a baby, and she was in it. She was number 1 in the world. She beat Serena Williams. She had 4 Grand Slams, one after the other. And I just can't understand it. But she's just not available. And she has a baby. But Osaka was a great talent, I think. I hope she can bounce back sometime.
Well, she has to start working hard. She has to get back working hard.
But later on, we'll talk a little more about cricket, right? Oh, yeah. About the tennis, we'll probably discuss it a little more.
Oh, yes.
All right. So with me now, I see Dr. Sebastian has just joined me. So if you look at Sebastian.
Good night. I say I probably just spend half an hour. I feel a bit tired. They're all talking. So I said, let me come and try. I didn't know Lobby was on tonight. So I said, let me come and give you some company for at least half an hour.
Well, it's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, because all day long in the voice sometimes. Well, you've been to that and
Well, they didn't want me there, Lockhart.
Well, as I say, the whole
many people have been calling me and asking me, how come I'm not there? I'm being disturbed every minute.
Well,
I guess they know why.
Well, I guess.
But Ozzy, I have a problem. The problem I have is with these commentaries. Sebastian songs very well, but there are some other people I tell you that they should go and practice.
Well, it's out of my hands completely, Lobby.
No, but if you want to be a commentator, buy a recorder, go at the league games, and practice from there.
Yeah.
Try to improve on your game.
But of course.
The game.
Yeah.
Sebastian is versed. He knows the game inside out.
Yeah.
Go to some, reviews.
Yeah. But he was able to speak English too,
exactly. Yes.
Speak proper English, pronounce properly.
Mm-hmm.
He must have a history of the game, and he must be fluent and interesting.
And you must be able to have a conversation
with the
commentsman and the commentator.
Oh, well, even more so. Has to be conversational.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's not just
and know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So That's how it is,
Yeah, I
Roby.
know what you're talking about.
No, but Aussie, it's not good at all. It is just not good for test. It is games so you playing, but test cricket is looking for standard quality.
I remember my situation now. I remember Tony Cozier, a year or two, had passed by. He was getting on in age, and TV commentary was taking over. He began, of course, TV commentary, but after some time, they were not calling him. And Tony Cozier took it very seriously. He went to the law, and you know, I don't know if you knew about that. Tony Cozier actually went to the law, to whoever was
the magistracy or the court.
the courts,
right.
yeah.
Because they wouldn't bring him on.
Bring him on, you
And
know.
it took like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, just about 2 years before he died. So here it is, they wrote him off then. So suddenly, yesterday, he was being called to do TV commentary.
Okay. Well, and that's the fact, towards the end, they hardly had him on TV.
Tony Cozier, yes, towards the end, they were hardly using him. So it seems when people feel that, have a concept that you're over the hill, though. So you know, Labby?
Which hill? Which one? Montpellier Hill?
I don't know which hill.
Well, you know how to say it.
But there are other reasons too, yeah?
Well,
Yeah, I know that. But you see, Aussie, there must
I have an idea of the reasons. I want to talk so blatantly. If I have to, I will.
but I like quality.
What I'll tell people, I know myself and I know my worth, right? Nobody can take that from me, okay? So they can do what they want. My records are there. My performances have been there. My standing is there for the world to know. So they can do what they want. They can never meet my standard.
And it can be erased from your brain.
Cannot. And my brain is perfect. I remember every single little thing in cricket from 1877, the first test match. Talk to these guys, ask them about the body line tour. They wouldn't know what you're talking about. Body line tour? What does that happen?
But it's I find to myself, at a game of cricket, I listen to Sebastian. Sebastian, the guy, is very good. They know the game inside out. Yeah, about the stroke play, the quality, and they can, you can listen to them and follow the game. But the others is difficult to follow.
Anyhow, so much for that. But you see, people calling me and ask me why I'm not there. So it's a lot of fun. I have to see that,
No, but this is something that is international, gentlemen. This is that going all these commentaries.
Exactly.
That is serious.
Exactly, Lobby. So the international thing,
It's serious, man.
But in any case, it's on television. So
it's on television here?
Of course, it's on television.
Dominica?
Yes. Oh, you mean Rush Sports?
Okay. Because I know before
Channel 191 and
it
190.
had to be sold out at the game.
That's old time thing.
Yeah, because the ground got sold out for sure.
Because Flow Sports has been advertising that for you last month. So you can't control Flow Sports. Flow Sports is bringing it on channel 191.
That's the one that brings the Ashes and everything.
191 and 193.
Okay.
Both channels bringing it a day. Every ball from 9 o'clock on Flow Sports.
Okay.
So you're not bound to go to the attack at all. People don't know that Flow Sports.
But they're not big crowds as people think.
I'm surprised to see the crowd.
They're probably at most about 3,000 people.
No crowd, thousands.
And
I hardly saw anybody in the ground.
No, probably have about 3,000. And like I said last week, I didn't expect on no day to have more than 4,000 people. Because the cost of the tickets, they can't manage it, Ozzy. And let's be real. I mean, you pay, so some of the stands now are $80 per day. You have transport, lunch, whatever it's going, people cannot afford it. It's expensive.
And for 5 days.
And that's what I'm saying.
If it's a one-day game or T20, okay, but a 5-day test match, it's only people who are purists after go to a test match, And
to be fair, though, by West Indian standards, you would say that was a big crowd. Because when you follow all the grounds in matches, you see empty grounds. I mean, you probably see 50 people. And to be fair, by Caribbean standards, you would say that's a big crowd.
Of course, a big crowd. But Sebastian.
Hold on, there's a caller. I think let me say there's a caller there. Good night.
Yes, Sibo. I don't know how far you guys are on the commentary, but I know if this was a Dominica, and a lot of us would be complaining about the commentary, about the radio commentary. I can't even listen to it. The only time I listen, Sibo, is to hear your comments. You follow cricket, you know cricketers, you know about cricketers, But I'm telling you, this is absurd for Test cricket. If this was a Dominican commentator, we would have a lot to say. But whatever, Andrew is named from New Zealand. In fact, New Zealand has never produced any commentator that is exciting.
Well, I never knew that guy as a commentator. To be called, I never knew. I did first time I've heard the guy.
Well, a white man, though.
Yeah. I never heard
New
him
Zealand,
as a commentator.
We know of a TV commentator. I forgot his name. He travels around the world.
Simon Dool.
Simon, yes, Simon Dool. One of the most boring commentators.
Simon Dool, I like this guy too. Yeah.
When you listen to cricket commentary across New Zealand has never produced any commentator of excitement. And also, I believe you would have done a better job in bringing the crowd. I mean, I don't care what people say about you, Ozzy, but I know you would be bringing in the crowd when people listen to you on the bus. They would know cricket going on at the Windsor Park. But for now, there is no cricket going on except the voice of Sibo. And I can't listen to that. I just can't listen to you, Sibo, because of what I'm hearing. This is crazy.
It's being brought on TV, you know. If you have
No, I
TV.
think he's overseas, so I don't think he's probably.
Oh, he's overseas?
Yeah, he sounds like he's overseas. Yeah.
Oh, he'll still can get it on Rush Sports
No, Digicel, somebody not send up, but Digicel is carrying it
as well.
DigiPlayer.
So it's on TV.
Yeah.
Nobody everyone can see it here.
Caller is still there? The caller is still there?
Yes, the callers making
Anyway,
The caller is still there.
Anyway, Ozzy, whoever is leaving you out, they don't know better. I wish they would hear my voice and invite you to do the next 2 or 3 days, because people can't listen to cricket and people won't come to the park if they continue listening to this. Absolutely not. People will stay away. This is boring commentary at its highest degree. Anyway, have a good night, guys. I'm listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thanks for your contribution. Thank you.
Sibo,
Yeah, go ahead.
I understood that.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
We have a caller, yes.
Just wanted you to know that it is also on Digicel 303 and 3.
Well, I just said that. Somebody sent that.
All right, thank you. So it's on both Digicel and Flow, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, thank you.
I understood that both stands you were saying that was sold out. So what happened to the people with their tickets?
What? Okay. Well, you can have tickets, but you have to pay transport to come down. And what exactly happened? Then the tickets the authorities bought tickets, and they're probably giving them to the PAL reps to distribute. That's what's happening. Yeah, that's quite simple.
I believe so.
Not believe so. That is a fact.
A lot of political tickets.
Yes.
Why? The people that got free tickets, were they afraid to go in?
I don't know. You'll have to go.
Well, I can see the crowds on the stands from on the TV. I can see it. There's no crowd to me.
It's about 3,000 people. About that. About 3,000.
No, but my question,
There's a
Sebastian.
caller. Hold on a little bit. There's a caller. Good night. Yes. Good night.
I'll ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
I think we have Dominica on the t-shirt. Dominica sponsor the team
Say it again.
and the outfit.
Well, that's a good question. While I was on there, I made mention of that. What the caller is, I said also that on the West Indies team, it has Dominic at the front. No, I don't know if the Ministry of or the government paid the West Indies board or whatever. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they have
on the
the front of the shirt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I don't know if the government paid for that. I don't know.
Yes, caller, yes.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Because people that there were people with tickets. People have 4 and 5 tickets outside the stadium trying to sell their tickets.
So I understand, yeah.
No point of buying tickets. Some people went as fast right in the ticket booth area trying to see they could get the tickets they have in their hands sold.
I heard that also. I
saw it with my eyes. I'm telling you what people tell me. I saw people weep and I man checking tickets and I don't know where you get the tickets now. Well, by mail to get tickets. Mail have the tickets so you can go there to get tickets. I say yes, So we come a couple of years ago when we had cricket, big time cricket in Dominica. The people 65 and older were given free tickets. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were given free tickets. But this time, everybody had to pay their big money. People 65 and older had to pay half price. How the hell they getting it? The economy is so damn bad. And when Sibo said that, I heard they went tongue to tongue last night on you on the other radio station. I don't know what you and Andrew Mason say, but here, boy.
No. I'll tell you what I said. Andrew Mason, they called me on the program on Tuesday, Ozzy. Before that, somebody.
Anyway, have a good night.
Thanks.
I listen in.
Somebody they called me about 7:45, asked me how things going on. So, and then apparently somebody was on and said the ground is sold out for tomorrow. That's the first day. So what I did about 6:10 on Tuesday night, I called in the Windsor Park to ask questions, and I was told that only 3,990 tickets were issued for Wednesday. So I said to Andrew Mason, I don't know where the person got the information from. That is propaganda. And I said, apparently somebody said to the capacity 15,000. I said, from what I know from
10, 12,000.
no, 11,005.
Right.
So
on the 12.
So I heard they were saying, and again, this people don't know what I'm talking about. So somebody goes and spread propaganda and says the ground is sold out for Wednesday. When in fact wasn't half the ground was half empty. So I said unto the information I have from the horse's mouth is 3,990 tickets were issued for Wednesday. So anybody comes that nonsense is rubbish. And to say that the ground capacity is 15,000 is wrong. The capacity is 11,500. So people must come in their stupid politics, and I don't give a shit. Sorry about the language, what they say. Sorry about the language. I mean, every time it's a nonsense from these people. Yeah.
Yes, hello. Another caller, yes.
Yes, good night, gentlemen. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night. Yeah.
I have been listening to Ozzy Lewis and Jeff Charles over the years. And that's just two Dominicans. There's nobody to step in their shoe when it comes to commentating. It's a natural art in them.
Thank you, sir.
They were born with that gift. Nobody can take it away. Good night and thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, and I don't know why
Right,
these people
thank you.
would mislead people like that. You go on the radio, on regional radio, and say about the ground is sold out. What sold out? One stand supposed to have been sold out. One stand, and most of the tickets were taken out by one entity. Most of the tickets were taken out by one entity, and that's a fact. That is a fact. It's not propaganda.
It's a political thing.
Yeah, nonsense every time.
But see what? But that same stand is empty. Still empty.
Well, hold on, Lobby. Good night. Another caller.
Hello, good evening, yes?
Good evening, Sibo.
Yeah, good night.
Sibo, in that eyelashes economy we live in, who can buy ticket $80 a day? If police should not give them 2 tickets to go for the 3 days.
I hear you, caller. I hear you.
See, a test match is 5 days. It's
But
all-
what you
it's all-
remember
it's all
last week
one
we
day.
discussed that. We discussed that last week. I said that there's no way they would get big crowds here.
And weekdays again.
Weekdays. The stands now $80 a day. If let's say you're coming from Portsmouth, that's another $20-something.
Your lunch,
Your lunch,
your beers,
your drink, and whatever. So you're looking at every day 100 something.
200.
And to be honest, if I was a cricket fan, let's say I was a commentator, and the way West Indies is performing, I wouldn't want to go and watch it. Let us be real. On the first day of a match, you get bowled out for 150. It doesn't encourage you to want to come here today.
Well,
and even what happened in the last 2 weeks with the World Cup, it doesn't encourage. As I said on here, the players must bring people in the ground. Or see, it's players have to bring people in.
yeah.
I mean, if you perform in poor, people wouldn't want to come, particularly when the cost is expensive. I think there's another caller.
Yes, caller, yes.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Evening.
The commentary when Sebastian and the Carter in St. John, they sound good because I find Andy did a good job. And the Carter. And somebody said about New Zealand never have good commentators. New Zealand had a radio commentator, we call his name Brian Waters. I don't know, or did you remember Brian Waters?
Yeah, I remember Brian Waddle, yes.
Yes, and Simon Dole is not bad. Simon Dole is all right. New Zealand has some good commentators.
Mm-hmm. I think Simon Dole is good. I think he's good, Simon Dole. On TV.
On
TV.
Yeah, but and because and Sebastian in St. John, they did it because and the other they have a little history of the game. I think they do very well. They did very well.
Do we have Gerald George on tonight, Ozzy?
I don't know. I didn't contact him.
Well, we can, because there's a little controversy in the football. Maybe next week what we probably can do, get some of the candidates on, because apparently I got information to the lobby that there are 4 people going up for the presidency. One is an employee of the FA. Now he was supposed to go to Australia and and that everything has been cancelled. Yes, I got information today because now he's challenging the president. And he's an employee, by the way, of the Football Association, Wayne George. So they have cancelled the ticket and everything else. He was supposed to go to,
When George?
yeah, he was supposed to go to Australia, and I'm hearing that. So maybe it's something we have to explore. If we have Gerald George on, we should ask him the
To
question.
explain.
You have to explain that. And
Sebastian,
yeah, go ahead, Lobby.
that cannot deny you from taking part in the election as an employee of.
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't deny. He was supposed to go away, I tell you, Lobby.
Away.
He was supposed to go on something in Australia,
Oh,
and they have cancelled it. They have cancelled it.
that's what
Huh?
he's
Stopped him from going. Okay, I'll tell you what. When George is currently the Dominican Football Association women's coordinator,
right.
contesting the DFA election for the office of president, the DFA elections are scheduled for Saturday, July 22nd. 32 delegates from registered clubs will be voting. Anyway, let me come to that. Mr. George has been with the FA for the past 7 years. During that year, he had been women's coordinator, blah, blah, blah. He was scheduled to travel to Australia as the FIFA representative, as the DFA representative to the FIFA Women's World Cup in August. All his travel documents, including his Australian visa, were approved as early as June 5th. After he was nominated as a candidate to challenge Etienne, his travel plans were abruptly cancelled without notice and no reasons were given. So there's a lot of things going on there in the FA. Probably we'll have to get information about what's going on. Yeah.
But this is not autocracy at all. This is not autocracy.
Mm-hmm. Well, if everything was paid for, I don't see why you would cancel the person's thing. I mean, I don't find that's crazy. Really.
What what is it fear about? What is it fear?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
maybe Gerald George will have to explain to us what's going on.
but Sebastian, that's what I telling you, as I said last week, they need a change. What is going on in the FA is just total nonsense. Nonsense. The football not going anywhere.
But that the team that runs football has been around for a long time.
A very long time.
A very long time.
2 terms now, and a term is 4 years.
That's
so
over
8 years.
Close to be a decade in charge,
Yes,
Lobby.
yes,
Quite a long
yes,
time.
yeah. So,
And are they delivering the goods, Lobby?
well, call Gerald George. Let's get him on right away. Let's get him on.
Even the clubs are very weak. The clubs are very weak in Dominica.
Well, we'll see. By the way, Ozzy, the semifinals are played. With tomorrow's being played, right?
The semifinals?
Yeah, Medvedev
tomorrow
and Alcaraz.
8:30.
Well, I'll miss them. I'll get
Djokovic and Sinner at 8:30.
That'll be a good game.
Alcaraz and Medvedev at 10:30.
Yeah.
Estimated time.
Every game from day one.
Wimbledon. So,
Tim and Tsitsipas has a very good game.
Tsitsipas, I thought Dubangs fella beat him, beat Tsitsipas.
And Tim.
Yes, Tim, I was calling about Tim. Tim made a comeback.
In 5 sets, that was a grueling game,
Yeah, he lost only a tie break on the last set,
That's right. That was
he could have beaten Tsitsipas.
Right.
As the team about 4 years ago was right up there. I think he won the US Open. He won that,
He won a Grand Slam for sure.
He has a Grand Slam, a US Open. And after the fabulous 4 of Roger Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, and Murray, the Dominic team was right up there.
Right there.
I think he's got injuries, Lobby, in the last couple of years.
I know.
So I'm wondering,
surgery.
Yeah.
Surgery.
Yeah. He has a Grand Slam, he won the Grand Slam against Vera.
Yeah, and the following year, a few months after, he got injured.
Right. So team has been, apart from the big 4, Roger Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, and Murray, so we consider big 4. That Dominic team guy from Austria, he looked up to be the best prospect to win Grand Slams.
Yeah.
He actually won the US Open.
Yeah.
About 3 years now, he's a bit off the boil, maybe off the radar, but he might have been injured. But he almost beat Tsitsipas in this Wimbledon.
First round.
Yeah, almost. But as I said, the Christopher Eubanks guy is the guy who really was like a Cinderella man and a magician. This man almost beat Medvedev in 5 sets,
Played fantastic tennis. He played fantastic tennis.
He was out of the top 150. Yes, a year ago. Today, the man might be in the top 10, Christopher Eubanks.
Yeah. Look out for
He was fabulous, man.
But let me tell you, Ozzy, the men side in particular, everyone must come with. You have to come with your A game from now.
Yes, yeah. But
We'll take a break now. Is
yeah, it means that Novak has, if Novak wins tomorrow, which he might win against Sinner, he has to play either Carlos Alcaraz or Medvedev.
Yeah.
Medvedev did beat him 2 years ago in the US Open. And Carlos Alcaraz, who if he's very fit, there will be a lot of problems for Novak. But I still will put my money on Novak Djokovic. But he's going to have it tough. So tomorrow is a blockbuster of 2 tennis semifinals at Wimbledon. And Jerry agrees with that. Our friend Jerry is a tennis fan. 8:30. Jerry, grab a mic. Jerry, I know you're a tennis fan, Jerry. Have you been following tennis of late?
Mr. Luis, I'm glad I came in on the tennis side of it, yeah. And also you forgot to mention that Medvedev almost beat him at the Olympics.
Medvedev.
Yes, beat him at the Olympics.
Beat who?
Djokovic.
Because it was Zverev who beat him at the Olympics.
My apologies.
Zverev, the German, beat him.
Yes,
and
yes.
spoiled his challenge in a calendar year.
Calendar year.
Calendar
That's
year.
correct.
Yeah.
That's what I was coming to.
And as Medvedev beat him in the US Open when he was looking for the career Grand
For
Slam.
the Korea
all-
calendar Grand Slam.
Right.
That's
Remember, is it that same game Ozzy? He
Pardon?
was disqualified
The game where who was disqualified.
when he hit with
Novak?
that.
No, that's about two or 3 years ago. That was before Novak. But Novak has missed about 6 Grand Slams in the last 2 years because of
For the
the
last
vaccination problems.
vaccination problem.
This guy will have about 30 Grand Slams already. But at 36, he has a tough assignment tomorrow. And then if he gets through, he has to play either Carlos Alcaraz, who is no joke,
Who is
and
no joke.
Medvedev, who has beaten him in this US Open. So tomorrow is a big day.
It's a bumper.
Bumper day.
Yeah, it's a bumper.
Yeah. Oh, but the women now, the Ukrainian Svitolina, she lost today
She lost today.
to Vondrousova of
Oh
Czechoslovakia.
my God,
Did you
what
see
a-
that match, Jerry?
Yes, I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched the last 2 sets.
Yeah.
And I thought in the second set, the momentum she built in the second set, it would have carried on,
Yeah.
but it wasn't to be.
But this girl from the Arab girl from Tunisia, Onze Jabeur. Oh boy, this girl is from right up to the finalist again.
Her prowess, that girl, is a baseline stroke. She don't come in too much. She doesn't look for points at the net. But her baseline stroke is so accurate and powerful.
Yeah. But she's a master on grass courts, yeah. Onze Jabeur,
Oh.
Tunisian girl. So she's in the final. The final will be Saturday morning.
But
But Sunday, of course, morning is the big final for Novak. Anyhow,
Oh my God.
yeah. We have a caller? I think we have a caller.
Everybody.
Yes, a tennis fan calling.
tennis
Yes. Elizabeth.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Sibo, congratulations.
Thank you.
You on. I heard you commented.
Yes, I think
Thank you.
he was excellent. Sibo was excellent.
Sibo,
Yes.
at least you don't say it appears to me.
What?
Concerning the tennis. Also, you saw the game with Svitolina and Azarenka.
Yes,
At
yes.
the end of the game, Azarenka refused to shake Svitolina's hand,
Yes, because
I find that was poor.
no, it's like a policy now, I think so, because of the war, Ukraine and Belarus, they call it? Belarus and Russia. The tennis players are not, I think the Tennis Federation agreed they're not bound to shake his hand. I think it's allowed because of the problems, the hostilities between Ukraine and Russia and Belarus.
No, but Svitolina shake the hand of family school and they finished play. Azarenka was just upset. She didn't win the game. That's
Okay,
all.
which one?
Anyway, for the finals, is Jabot. I'm looking out for Jabot. Because Jabot said she's coming back for her revenge. Remember, she played with that girl already.
Sibalenka, she played.
No, Jabot played with Vanju. What is the name? The Czech girl.
Vondrousova.
She had encounter with her already.
Yes.
And then twice this girl beat her. So Jabot said she's coming back for her revenge this time.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm looking out for Jabot.
And she was a finalist last year, so she
Yes,
wants
yes.
to win it this time.
Uh-huh.
But she's making great, every year she's making a lot of progress,
Yes, it's very good,
but on especially on grass. So she may win her first Grand Slam. She may.
Yes.
and that is Saturday morning, yeah?
Yes.
But Novak, Novak is right up the semifinals tomorrow.
Yes. But I'm still holding. If you see, I like my Alcaraz. If you see, Alcaraz do crap
Well-
and Alcaraz go to the finals. Djokovic have to. I put in a little edge on Alcaraz.
Well, I just put it that way. I fear Alcaraz.
I too.
I fear him.
I fear
What?
that boy.
I hope he doesn't cramp up like the last
Yeah,
time.
yes,
I
yes.
fear that boy bad.
Although,
Champion is the champion.
was that?
The champion.
Sibo, congrats again.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Baba. And as I said, you do not say it appears, right? Bye. Good evening.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Luis, I noticed that same thing. He and Alcaraz and Berrettini, the Italian, they had a very contentious, either
Yeah,
fourth round or quarterfinal. They did not shake hands too,
Yeah.
Berrettini came up and he shook the hand of the umpire, but he did not shake Alcaraz's hand.
And the Berrettini.
Yeah, Berrettini,
Italian.
the Italian.
And there's no war between their countries.
No war between their countries. So I was just making that observation.
Since Vitolina is a Ukrainian girl,
Yes, she is.
I think the Tennis Federation says if you don't want to shake hands, it's all right. You can allow it.
But
You know?
but Ozzy, in sports today, you have to be magnanimous in defeat,
I find that because when she played, as Vitolina played, Azarenka, as a Russian girl or Belarus, whatever, and Vitolina won. Azarenka just walked away.
She just walked
Didn't
away.
come to shake hands.
Yes. Azarenka was somehow in that game, I don't
You
know.
saw it?
Yes, I saw the game. She looked upset. about-
Azarenka.
Yes,
Yes.
the tall one.
Yes.
She looked upset. I don't know what, I couldn't put my finger as to what that was bothering her. But she really looked upset and she just walked off,
Yeah.
And she still got applause there while she
Yeah,
was walking
yeah,
off.
yeah. So, Jerry, who you betting on Saturday? The women. The women,
I will go on Jabo,
I put them on
I
Jabo.
put my money on her.
Oz Jabo. Yeah. I think she'll get it.
The surprising thing about women tennis, Mr. Luis, and you have to agree, it is not one dimensional. It is not one person.
No, about
Every
6 or 8 of them
Every-
dying for it now.
yes,
And they have the equal standard. You observe it? It's just Vitolina, it's Azarenka, it's Sibakina.
yes.
It's Abarit.
It's like you cannot call it short. You see, like
Right.
we can say, well,
Yeah.
Joko going to win
Yeah.
with the women competition
Like
right now.
Swiatek, the Pole girl, was beaten.
Yes,
Swiatek by Abarenka, I think. Oh no, Vitolina beat her.
but
But
it's,
those Vitolina is married to the Gael Monfils, the Gael Monfils fella.
for France.
France,
Yes.
the France showman.
Mhm.
They have a baby,
Yeah, they have a baby.
Yeah,
Okay, that's nice, man.
Gael Monfils.
Yeah, interracial.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
All right, the time is 6:45, and Jerry Charles has bounced in here, of course. He's been here at the Q95 microphones quite often, Jerry. But you took a long hiatus, Jerry. What?
Yeah, I took a little break because when I heard Sibo, when I came, I did a little stint with Ronald, a free date stint with Ronald.
Okay.
While Sibo was out and you were
Oh,
out.
I think I heard you. Oh, yes,
yes,
I heard
we had a
you.
nice little stint.
But since then, you have not been
Since
back.
then, I haven't really taken a bounce. But this afternoon, when I listened, I heard Sibo wasn't there and I heard you alone. I said, let me come and bring some more support. But on my way down now, Sibo came in.
All
No,
right.
I just said, come and give us a fall. I got to leave just now. I feel a bit tired, man.
Oh,
Yeah, well, that's
but
good.
I thought Sibo would have been tired because all this Sibo has been in the broadcast.
See, boy, it's 6:46. You want to.
Just, yeah, I'll go.
On 7.
I'll listen to you. I'll leave around 7.
Gentlemen, anyone of you are carrying eyelashes now?
The Prime Minister was big on eyelashes when she was recently, man. What? You didn't hear that?
Of course I heard it.
Man, this was fantastic.
But what you know, when the guy put it in,
Oh, boy.
and the guy he
The Trinidad accent
insinuated that he
Yes.
likes to be around men.
Yes,
Did you hear him?
yes.
Yes.
He made that assumption.
Like Rowley.
Yes, that is correct, Sibo.
You know?
Yeah, that's correct.
Boy, that was a joke.
And
boy.
there's a misogynistic
Yeah,
hater of women, the misogynist.
And he
The
classified.
fella called it misogynistic
and he called
comments,
him,
you know.
say you told
But
this
as
shit.
Rowley,
Hey,
as Rowley.
As Rowley, yes. I use the word dotish. I use the term a star boy of stupidity.
TT.
That's a hell of a phrase, you know. They call my good
You know, he
friend.
was a minister of government.
Yes, he felt a
He
Robert
was under
Stella.
the UNC, he was a minister of government.
Yeah.
He was the minister of sports, in fact. And in Roberts, he used to have a program in TV in Trinidad every Sunday night.
Talking.
Popular, yeah, for about 2 hours.
And his voice. the way he
Yes, and
sounds.
Roberts. Under the minister, he was the minister of sports under UNC,
Oh,
yeah, for
okay.
sure.
Man, you
Hmm?
Dotish.
I
dotish.
think he's a senator, but he was actually a minister of government.
That
That's
was
how
right.
Trinidadians talk, you know. But Mr. Dotish, man. Dotish. That's how they talk, you know. But he use a term, a star boy of stupidity, you know.
Well, hear me. I am looking forward to Calypso season when the MCs begin to give their jokes.
Yes, yes.
But worst off, from Trinidad, when guys like all those guys who do stand-up comedy begin to talk,
yeah.
I am waiting to hear them
Yeah.
because that is going to be a hit.
Yeah. But you can't touch the Trinis for that at all, eh?
No, but Trinidadians don't know how to talk nonsense. That's all.
Yeah.
They know how to give a good joke.
Yeah, they can give a
They
good
can give
joke,
a
boy.
good joke. Give that to them. And raw as well.
Raw.
And they can give a good joke. That's
Where they get he, boy? Where they get he? As if he was a stupid fellow. Where they get he? Those are the terms they use. I like to hear them speak those terms, you know, the way they speak.
They're very good.
Where they get you, boy?
There's a caller.
Hello, yes.
Hello?
Hello.
The same guy, when the Olympic was going on, Sportsback had him as an analyst. One come for the swimming, and
He was an analyst.
He's very good analysis.
Analyst.
Yes,
Analyst.
Very good, very
Analyst.
good.
All right.
He know the swimming, and he's great, man, I tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Guy is also a commentator. Okay.
Yes, man. Great.
All right, fine. Did you know that, sir?
Which one was that?
He said this guy we're talking about also working comments
Andy Roberts?
at the Olympics and so on.
No, he was swimming coach, you know.
A swimming
Yeah,
coach.
yeah,
How
Andy
they-
Roberts.
how they call just
Yeah. Andy Roberts is swimming. Yeah,
Yes,
swimming guy
commenting on
swimming.
swimming activity.
Yeah.
Oh,
Andy
okay.
Roberts.
Okay.
He's into that.
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy called knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, Andy Roberts into swimming. No, Andy Roberts always in sports. He's a sport. Always talks about sports. Always. Football as well.
you're going to commentate
at a cricket game. You know the game. Yeah. But Andy Roberts, and he's a bright guy. He's not a foolish man at all.
The time is 6:49, but I think the couple minutes fast though, Mr. Charles.
6:46.
6:46 is the correct time.
6:46.
This thing is 3 to 4 minutes fast. And it's always fast with Sibo. The clock here.
Always. It's always like 3 or 4 minutes
At
fast.
least 3,
Always.
most times 4.
Always.
So if you have a program and you go by that, you're losing 4 minutes of your time.
It's always
So they
fast.
must correct this thing. Yeah.
Always fast. Yeah, they
So, guys, we had the Ashes. Let's see if it's going on 7 minutes. He said, we don't want you to go if you want to go.
No, I will leave. I feel a bit
But
tired.
Sibo,
Well, I probably you can talk about the West Indies and I'll leave you all talk about the Ashes after you. And I'll listen to you all. I'll listen for sure. Probably Mr. Maynard might join. That's your boy, Mr.
The
Maynard.
Ashes.
Yeah.
But
No,
you
but
go,
what I would say about that, this is what compelling watching. That is cricket makes you want to watch. I mean, you come to the Windsor Park and it's a one-sided thing. It's nothing. But when you watch the Ashes, the kind of cricket you have, all 3 matches have been
Jesus.
entertaining up to the last ball. The match could go either way,
Yeah.
and it has been compelling watching. And that is why I say
that
Test
is one of the
cricket
most
cannot die.
competitive Ashes series
all-
I've ever. All
of
those
all time.
years of watching England Australia play Ashes.
Well, the one in it was 95,
2005.
2005 was a
2005.
top class series.
The one
I
England
mean,
won.
and you
Tough
had
and so on.
greater players there.
Yeah.
You had Shane Warne, you had McGrath, you had
Tough.
what's his name making it Kevin Peterson in
Yeah.
his first series.
Yeah.
It was a top class series.
2005.
Michael Vaughan, all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
kind of thing. So I think you had, to me, there were better players in that series. But this series is really top of the line.
You can
It's
go either
compelling watching.
every few
Compelling
minutes.
watching.
You can go either way.
Yeah, compelling
Either
watching.
way. Real compelling watching.
Compelling, yeah, you
Very
it's some-
competitive,
in fact, you look forward to
intense,
watch
yeah.
every minute. when you get up, you're looking
I
for
don't
6
know- I
o'clock.
don't know if I go to the kitchen for breakfast. I can't miss a ball.
And you look,
Whereas this match taking place in the back,
yeah.
whole hour or two I'm not watching. Frankly, I'm telling you. And even the Indians batted so attritionally to them, man, at 2.6 and over.
And over.
Well, also,
How
what I would say about that,
As attritional cricket, man.
yeah, but what I would say about that, I hope the West Indian batsmen are learning on watching.
Yeah.
Because what
Occupying the
the
crease.
Indians have decided, we're going to bat once.
Once.
If you look at Rohit Sharma, normally he hooks up.
I
You
know.
notice he hooking down today because he was determined to make 100. You read Virat Kohli, just there.
And
He
he's
wants to
young
make
by
up his score.
Just well, whatever his name
This
is.
guy is 21 years.
Yes.
He's played 15
He's
first class
supposed to be a
matches.
stroke player.
Yes, you didn't see him in the IPL?
I bet once or twice, but
Well,
to
he was
me,
top
he was
class.
almost stroke class in this match.
No, but Ozzy, what's his score? 140
How many
something.
fours he has?
He has
10?
He has 10 fours. But the point is, he has 140 something.
I know.
His
I know.
average in first class cricket is 82.
I know that. He has,
in
he has
15
9
matches.
first class centuries.
And this will make 10.
Will make 10.
So
yes.
the guy, that is what I want to see, our batsmen, the West Indian batsmen, because what you had in the first inning was men playing reckless strokes.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had a guy, Blackwood, before lunch,
Oh,
playing
yes,
an
yes, yes,
ill-advised shot.
Yeah, definitely.
So what I hope is that Ali Kafan has played extremely
the
well
captain played a
yesterday.
reckless shot to the captain.
Azari Joseph, yeah. Asfan has played very well. A good debut. I think he bowled well today. Bowled very well.
Athana's first time I've ever seen him play.
Uh-huh.
And I was quite impressed.
No, he played. The boy
He
can
played
bat.
like and is very poised, composed. He's good selection of shots.
but
He
Sibo-
played like a mature player.
No, he can play. I mean, the boy can play. Yeah, the boy can play. So what I would like to see the West Indian, because to be honest, if it was a true wicket, you probably again Ozzy, the wicket doesn't.
The wicket has
Well,
no space.
So you can't really play
No,
through the
that's
line
true.
of the ball.
Like Kohli couldn't get a boundary. When he scored his first boundary
Was-
in the 70 balls,
Cover drive, yeah.
he gave a punch to the air.
Because the wicket is
Because
slow.
he hit a 4, at least I hit a 4.
And that is my problem in the Caribbean in Ozzy.
The wicket is dead,
All the pitches,
placid,
it look like you
docile,
don't know how to prepare pitches
no
now.
life at all.
The wicket is not what happens now. Yesterday, the ball is turning on the first
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that is why I feel India with a lead. Well, India only go to bat once. I don't see them batting again, and I don't see West Indies a deficit of 250, 300 on a pitch like that against Ashwin and Jadeja. It will be
They
difficult.
could be routed in one session.
Well, that is what, in fact, originally I said cricket will finish by tomorrow, but because India was slow today,
They'll bat
we
here.
probably might go on to
Lunchtime
Saturday.
and Saturday morning.
Yeah, it could
at
be
the, at the
over.
most.
But,
But what I want to see, guys, learn when they go to bat in second inning, decide to occupy the crease as well. Stop giving away your wickets. And that's what I want to see from the West Indian batsman. Stay and bat.
But Sibo, I want to ask you a
After,
question.
look at caller, after the caller.
Hello, caller? Yes?
Yeah?
And also, I forgot to ask you a question because I'm never too old to learn. Cornwall, what was your nickname?
Well, that is another story.
Ozzy and
I'll let Ozzy answer that one.
Ozzy,
Cornwall is picked primarily as a bowler.
if you can take the singles, right? So what you expect every time they bowl, you make up for a 6
You know, sometimes
So
I
what
even feel
was he
sorry
there
for
for?
him.
But in
I
any
feel-
case, the other pick a spinner, I'm picking Chase before Cornwall.
Yeah.
Chase can bowl as good as, or if not better than Cornwall.
Yes, and he can
Chase
bat.
can bat better, and I don't compare them. but killing. So why Chase has 5 centuries, you know? How you can pick Cornwall above
Cornwall.
Chase? But Chase is a good bowler, good tight off spinner, and he can, I mean, he's miles better than Cornwall. Yeah.
Well, that's why I said rather you answer that question. Another caller? Oh, she's still there. You still there? Or she's gone?
Yeah, Sibo, I wanted to ask you that question because I felt so. Sibo, did you see a little bit of ego? At 47, he was batting well, he was middle.
Atanaz.
Atanez. Did you see a little ego when Cornwall came in to join him? A little bit of ego taking over Afanaz?
I wouldn't say
because-
that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, he was playing well.
Yes.
I mean,
Wickets were falling and
Yeah.
because of the tail, you know.
yeah. But you know what I would say sometimes You got to be selfish. Play for yourself sometimes. I mean,
I missed time.
Yeah, it could have.
The stroke was correct. You know,
It could have gone for 6.
The execution wasn't good.
It could have gone for 6.
Execution wasn't good.
So I'm not going to blame him for that. I mean, he played extremely well.
And the ball was there that shot.
Yes, he got a shot ball.
He didn't execute
But what happened
properly.
was it wasn't really the off break. That's the only problem. If it wasn't left in the off break, he could have pulled it. But if you look, Aswin normally bowls the ball with the arm. So that one was straightening up. So sometimes it might be difficult to pull it than if the ball is standing and you can go. So I wouldn't fault him for that. That could happen. The guy played well. The youngster played very well.
He played well.
On his
He played
debut.
well on his debut.
Hold on, Lobby. Look at another caller. Good night.
Hello?
I see, but that's a question. That's the question I was going to ask you. In the way Atana's out, what you feel about it? Did he do anything that was wrong?
Well, you know, I was a batsman, or you were a batsman. Most times, as a batsman, your eyes light up. You see a ball shot. You're on 47.
Half tracker.
You say,
Yeah.
man, I have my 50.
Yeah.
So I am sure, I put myself in his position.
Yeah.
You're on 47. You get a ball like that. You say, bam, I'm going to cash in. That is my
That's correct.
50.
It was not a reckless shot
No,
or
at
bad
all.
shot.
It definitely
It just
wasn't.
wasn't well executed.
Definitely
But the
wasn't.
plan and the shot there was correct.
All right, I just wanted to know.
He
what
did-
you
I
feel
too
about
wanted to
It
know
was
that,
not
yeah.
a reckless shot.
Like
No
it's
way.
failed, you know.
I wouldn't say it was reckless at all.
But gentlemen,
Half tracker. Yes, Lobby.
I would say something here is this. You know, one of the things that my advice to Afanas that he has to bat on. We all remember what happened to Irvin. Irvin, after Guyana won something, he came to him and then he was dropped. He has to understand that no matter what the way is going on, he's from the island. He has to bat long. He has to bat long.
Well, all I would say, Lobby, is now in Irving term and now it's different. There's nowadays there are not many players, so I don't think Ali could have problems now. In Irving days, the competition was tight.
The way they're selecting players now, you see how they're selecting players now. All right? Yes, he should have gone to Zimbabwe. He should have gone to Zimbabwe, send him to the UAE. You know, my advice to him,
What I want
bat
to
long,
ask, what I want
occupy
to
the
ask,
crease.
what is Raymond Riffer doing on the
Thank you very
team?
much.
Our number 3 batsman. Let me call you number 3 batsman. But George Headley, Frank Worrell, Sir Vivian Richards,
Lawrence Rowe,
Kanhai.
Kanhai.
Rohan Kanhai. You're the guys by number 3 for West Indies. Where is Riffer coming in? What is Riffer to Haynes? That deserves an inquiry. Why is Riffer number 3? And you're a double centurion guy called, what's his name? Mackenzie. Does that play young
Okay,
Mackenzie?
I'll put it simply for you. Riffer is 31 years.
His age
His
and
average
everything.
is 27 in first class cricket. He made 100.
He's 30-something
31
years.
years of age. That's all I will say.
The gentleman, may I ask a
He
question?
bats number 3.
May I ask a question?
That's ridiculous.
Afanas today went in at number 5, right?
Five,
number
yes.
5. If he had gone at number 3, would he have scored a little more than 47? Maybe.
You don't know. You don't know.
You can never tell you. You don't know.
It's cricket to play. You
It's
don't know.
not like maths, 5 from free is 2 or 3 of his 5. So I wouldn't.
But you guys are the cricket experts.
No,
I know. I would say.
I mean, all I'll say, he played well. He
played
like
well.
I would say, like any batsman, you see a shot
See,
ball,
but
your
first-
eyes light up,
Oh.
and you think that bam, you're going to cash in.
First time I've seen him play. First time, very first time.
I saw him.
I was impressed.
I saw him in the finals. He looked pretty.
Yeah.
In the finals.
I was very. I'm hard to impress, you know. I've seen great cricketers,
Yes.
There's another caller.
and he impressed me. Yes.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, when I listen to the cricket, we must say this young man was under pressure. And when he gets out, I realize at the same time too, that was the moment he had to start to take his chances. Because all along we keep falling around him. And I believe his calculation is he didn't know how long that's going to last. So he had to open his hand. I believe he was being pressured to play that shot.
By who?
So you mean you felt he was running out of partners then? Did you feel that he felt he was running out of partners, so let him score some quick runs?
No, man.
What number Connell came to bat?
No.
No. He's lower than that. He came after the fast bowler. What is the fast bowler's name again?
As Harry thought he went before him.
Yes. Cornwall all number 9 or 10, you know, Cornwall. So the guy is making a point that he might have been motivated the fact that he was running out of partners, and that's Lambe's point, right?
Well, I'll say again, Ozzy.
Because number 10 joined him, you know, and he felt, let me get a move on.
Ozzy, I'll say again, you played cricket, you're a batsman. I was a batsman. Most batsmen, you unfortunately get a long hop, you say you're going to cash in, bam, that is my 50. It happened, you get out, that can happen.
I say look the 50.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
The ball was a half tracker, you know, half pitch. Short ball, there's a pull to be wicket for 4. But he mistimed it, and that's all what happened.
Bossy, I want him to bat on.
Yes.
Bat on.
Yeah. And forget the reverse sweep.
Yes,
No.
in the wicket.
Well, Zal Emmanuel is saying he did not only play well, he played very well against world-class bowling. Zal Emmanuel is saying that.
Yeah, he played well, but when the bat on. Bat on.
Yes, we have some callers. Yes, hello, Sports Wrap.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Ozzy and Sibo.
Hello.
Sibo, good commentary.
Yeah, I find it was good too. Eh?
Good commentary.
Good commentary.
Excellent.
Thank
For
you.
them, I don't. Anyway, in my opinion, I may be wrong. I feel Athanaze was a little concerned about his wicket because he's in there with Cornwall and Cornwall don't want to run. There's several times they could have taken a run and it didn't happen. So he might have been concerned about his wicket because even if he had his for a single to go to 48 and then slowly go to 50, but he has to be concerned he might be run out because of how the running was going. That is how I feel.
Yeah, okay, caller.
Did
Cornwall really now is not well, you know, it's ill.
I see some chest infection.
Yeah, he
you
has some
said.
problem. He's feeling a bit.
But he bowled very well, though.
He was getting the ball
on
to
that
spin.
particular pitch.
He was turning the ball. He
was-
could have posed some
And
problems.
was flighting it away.
He could have posed some
Yeah.
problems.
He
If
was posing
Yeah,
problems.
he could have posed some problems.
Palpitation.
Well, you know, when you're that size, you could have problems. I mean, when you're that size, and this is hot sun. I mean, yeah, you could have problems.
Did he pass the fitness test?
I don't know. He's playing. I don't know, Lobby. I wouldn't know that at all. All I know is on the field.
Was it the buy?
Yes. Do we have a caller? Yes, hello?
Yeah, good evening, Audrey
Evening.
and Sibo.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are several ways one can get out. But the main one is the bowler bowl a very good ball or the batsman make a mistake. And as Ozzy said, Athanaze is on 47. Definitely, he would look at for singles and get his 50. But the thing is, as Sibo said, I mean, he saw the ball, and that was the stroke to play because, I mean, you see that shot ball big in your eyes. You think, oh, okay, you might get a boundary or whatever. You try the shot, and sometimes it does not work. So I was not going to blame Athanaze. I mean, he tried. So hopefully, as Sibo said, the second innings. Look at what the Indians are doing. Look at the 21-year-old. And learn from this guy. Understand it's a 5-day cricket, and it's not a 2020 or T10. You know, so I just pray that they would learn to understand that test match cricket. You have to be patient, and you have to be willing to spend a long time in the wicket, and concentration is key. Thank you.
Okay, caller, thank you. As Lobby said, he must learn to bat long. I'm not saying that he's not for that innings, but just generally speaking, Lobby is right. He was pretty long innings. Test match and ODI is a different thing, or T20. Test match, you was learn to bat long.
Well, that's why I'm not.
Is that what Stephen Smith bats for?
That's
Australia?
why I'm not faulting the Indian
Yeah,
batsmen.
yeah. Oh, no.
It's a 5-day
They have
match.
time.
They have plenty time.
Yeah.
5 days.
If you ask me, I think it's good for Dominica that he's doing that because if they were not doing that, probably the match will finish tomorrow.
Yeah.
By lunchtime.
Exactly. So
You
if
have to
they
love to bat.
If they bat till tea time tomorrow, they'll be playing Saturday. So
Match will be
there'll be
ended
more
by
money at the
lunch
gate.
tomorrow,
Yeah. So let them bat.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yes, caller.
Yeah, man. The cricketer team, you can't play when you play cricket as such, you know. Cricket and all, you can't really play as such. It's two ways, either you man bowl you or you make a mistake. You see?
Yeah.
So see both.
Yeah.
The New Zealander cannot understand that vocabulary, you know, when you live in that vocabulary. You can say the good thing. But then you got vocabulary. Your face don't look in area, so they have got no spirit to play.
All right.
I think it's time we take a break.
Yeah.
It's now
7:03.
7:03. Clock says 7:07. But it's 3 minutes past 7 is the actual time. We'll take a break now and come back after 1 or 2 messages.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth. Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Yes, welcome back to Sports Wrap. It's now 5 minutes past 7, and I'm going to just hail my sports fans for a few minutes. So bear with me, guys. Let me say hello to people like Dr. Thompson Fontaine, of course, who always listens, was a co-host on 1 or 2 occasions. Mr. Clem Fingal, how are you doing tonight, Clem Fingal? You haven't seen it for some time. B.A. and Brother Randy Charles, Kent Abraham, and the ladies from the market like Cecilia Duran, Cecilia Matthew, Cecilia Coppel, all the Cecilias. Elsa of Vegas, good evening to you. Herminus Emmanuel, a great footballer, a former footballer from Newtown area, and of course Za, his brother, who I'm sure is listening right now. Za and Herminus. Elika, or there in the Big Apple, good evening to you all. Clances from Salisbury. Blessings, a great philosopher, the Aristotle of Dominica. Blessings, good evening to you. Harper Edwards, Clinton Antoine. Dr. Emmanuel Finn saying good evening to you. For some time we haven't really touched base with you. Louis Robinson, good evening to you. Bolin Peter, Cecil Peter, known as Bucky, famous guy, good evening to you. Dr. Justice Irvin Andre, this great prolific author and great legal scholar and a man of great erudition. So good evening to you. I'm sure you're listening as well. Let's say Elizabeth Peter, she is called a couple of times. Dr. Vivian Moyes, all the doctors, Dr. Hendricks Paul, illustrious former surgeon Hendricks Paul, after whom I think at least a wing of the new hospital, they should be named after Hendricks Paul, and Jerry Charles.
Quite appropriate, I think.
Agrees, right. Jerry
Very, very
agrees with that.
appropriate.
Dr.
I
Paul.
also concur.
And Lobby concurs.
Lobby is also concurring.
And
And Mr. Charles is concurring.
Mr. Charles, yes. As unanimous, Sports Club says this man deserves a wing at least of the hospital.
That's overdue.
In his honor.
I think it is too long
Yeah.
taking to do that.
Yeah.
Just like some part of a stand or
Yes.
a complete stand should be named in Lockett Sebastian.
But long ago, should have been done already.
From day one.
Yeah, that's old time business.
That's true.
It's antediluvian now. It's all before the flood.
Yep.
Yes.
From day one.
Look at Bogoroy, my friend Bogoroy. Good evening to you. And there's Teresa and Dennis Polidor, Blue and a husband from Bath Estate. Guy called Rambo. Listen, Ninja Henderson from Point Michelle. Claudia and Pat Gist. Felix Leslie, great guy from Portsmouth. Good evening to you. And Billy Amor, former tennis champion. I mean table tennis champion. And years ago, good evening to you. Andy Carter, good evening to you. Roy James, Macmillan's boys at Fokule. Dr. Dave Lloyd, this guy from Emsall now, originally from Collyho. Clotilda Doctrove, that's the mother of the Doctrove boys.
Yeah, I heard you calling her last week.
Yeah, I think they say she's 99.
Yeah,
so we wish that she gets on beyond 100, Jerry.
Yes.
So people like Vanya Shillingford, Leslie Massicott, Spiking, the guy, you know, Spiking guy
I know Spiking,
on the
right.
various trucks.
Yes.
From Newtown. He's a sports fan, you know, Spiking.
Very, very much. So,
ASP Wicks, the great guy, Wixie, long time we haven't seen. And
lucky.
the best. That's Louis?
He's unlucky.
Yes, Wicks would be much higher. Yes, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Francois Barry, good evening to you. Thomas Louis, the son of the great Whitnell Louis, and people like Julius Corbett, Joseph Bradley Roy, Peter Pross, good evening to you. Tyson Johnson of the CMS, Central Medical Stores, Gustav Williams, Ozzy Walsh, this guy, Gustav Williams from Point Michelle, of course, Ozzy Walsh and Glenn Ducre, colleagues of mine, Boyo Seaman, Shirley Mills, there's Michael Murphy, there's all the way, no, this guy is gone, left us. So let me see on my list. And Mr. Newton, former breadnut man, good evening to you. And people like Robertson Laura, former policeman, and Dr. Dave Lloyd, I called already.
you called him already.
Yes. Angelo Joseph Mann, good evening to you all. A guy called Begaye.
Yeah.
And Lister George, our good friend out there in the Big Apple, I think. Lister George, good evening to you. And Swinging Janice, former female Calypsonian, now doing well for herself, and in Toronto, in Canada. And people like Brian Hoggy from Newtown, Jerome John Lewis, the fisherman, Incense Man, and people like Ted Daly, this guy with his wife Heffy out there in St. Croix, and always listening to the big station. Good evening, Ted, and I wish you all the best. Wayne Nordy, my good friend out there, lawyer Wayne Nordy. There's, let me see, Suki, of course, Suki Winston. The Ice Pop Lady is a favorite fan. Just one or two more names, and Aronel Thomas, the man from Laku Setlang. That was Jerry. That was your area once upon a time.
Yes, I lived there. I actually lived there.
Right, so Jerry also
right across Ruben Bakery.
Laku Setlang, a famous place.
Many languages.
Yeah. Albert Gabriel, good evening to you, Albert. I haven't seen you for some time. Let us see. The Social Security staff, all of them listen attentively to our program. Loftus Duran, good evening to you. Edin Courts and Val, great contributors, Edin Courts and Val, Dr. Royal Sanford, Sister Roach, Bennett Austri, my good friend, former colleague at school for years. Bennett Austri, wish you all the best. and one or two more names. We'll call it a day. And yes, we're swinging Janice. There's a guy called Neil Maroney from so many states, I think, or Ontario. And I think that's it. I think I'll stop here for the. I think, Lobby, you have a few names you want to greet?
No, Ozzy, no. I want to just start something, go back to memory lane, Ozzy.
All right.
Could you remember, before we built the stadium, the Windsor Park, the wicket was very lively?
Yes.
Could you remember that morning play when Windward played Barbados in the Windsor Park?
Yeah.
And Grayson Shillingford had his best, that bowling average. All the Greenwich, I think he took his first 4 wickets.
Mm-hmm. As before the stadium was a stadium.
Yeah, the stadium was a stadium.
Yeah.
What has happened? I mean, what has happened to this wicket? What they did with the soil? What happened there? Why should
we'll have to check the curators. The Windsor Park has been for years a dead wicket responsive to spin mainly. Look, today's the second day, and that ball is jumping and turning. Jerry, you saw that?
Yeah, I was there. But they also said, sorry, Mr. Lewis, they also said that they brought in West Indies, but send down a person,
Crafton
to prepare, So
yes.
I thought it was going to get
some life.
The
wicket is lifeless.
But it's lifeless.
Yes, docile.
It's lifeless.
Yeah.
But Ozzy, you cannot bring somebody, gentlemen, you can't bring somebody to look after a wicket at the 11th hour, A wicket preparation takes time, Time, and you have to try it out. There must be trial on the wicket.
But they'll be even wrongly Caribbean.
It's
the
dead.
They are dead. And that's why we can't produce great fast bowlers anymore.
Ambrose said the only quick wicket in the region is from St. Lucia.
St. Lucia is right. That's a quick wicket, St. Lucia, that's right.
But that is where, Ozzy, my concern, my quarry with the previous boards. I'm talking about this present board. All right?
Sluggish.
Seriously, not much attention. Much attention was given. Because that is how we go back again. That is how we produce all our fast bowlers, because the wickets were, encouraging.
Yes. When we had our fast quartet.
In those days by
Biner Park, Kenton Oval, these were fast pitches,
What do you mean? All the island, And when we produced, Windward had, Antigua had fast bowlers. All the islands had genuine fast, not fellas want to bowl fast, you had genuine fast bowlers.
There's a dearth of fast bowlers around the islands. Yes, we have a caller. There's a while, Lobby. Somebody has a contribution to make. Yes? Hello?
Yes. Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes?
This is Robert Selleck. I have a question. How long has Mr. Crafton been doing that job at West Indies Cricket? Can you guys tell me how long?
Crafton, as you said, has been around for quite a few years. I would say at least three years. I'm not sure how many years, but certainly more than 2 years. At least 3 to 4 years. He has been around, and his assignment is to get the pitches in the Caribbean with more life, a little more grass on the pitches, to encourage fast bowling and stroke play. When you have good fast bowling and good stroke play, cricket becomes sluggish and dead because the batsman can't play the shot. The bowlers, yes?
Let me tell you something. In West Indies cricket, Crafton has been the biggest disappointment.
Yes.
Crafton has not done absolutely nothing.
In fact, he has done the opposite.
He has done nothing for West Indies cricket.
He has done the opposite.
But
exactly. So what are you doing to
evaluate? Who's supposed to value Crafton?
I don't know.
West Indies cricket from the doldrums to a higher level.
Yeah. But it's very important to prepare good, true, fast wickets, so it makes for good stroke play and more exciting cricket, But that has not been the case. The wickets are very sluggish in the Caribbean. That's why they could hardly hit a boundary. I saw Kohli batting forward 80 balls. Hits one boundary. And there were few boundaries,
The fact of the matter is, the guys in the Caribbean does not have the know-how to prepare quick wicket.
Yeah.
And that is the bottom line.
I will have to agree with you. I'll have to agree with you because the evidence is clear.
But
The evidence is clear.
if a man is assigned, given a job, it's 3-4 years, and he cannot.
Mr. Here at least 3-4 years.
He should be fired. He should be fired already.
Yes.
He should be fired.
The reason why St. Lucia wicket is quicker is because they're using plastic. Now that's outdated stuff. You can't tell me on your prime premier and playing ground, test ground in the world, you're going to use plastic. That is something for contrarian out of position right out in the countryside. That's why they have the pitches quicker there. It's plastic.
Plastic.
It takes more time. It takes more time. I don't need plastic to prepare a cricket pitch. I can leave my home tomorrow morning, and in 3 hours I can put down one of the fastest pitch in the world.
Your name is Robert Siller, you said?
You're right, Siller. Yeah, I know him very well.
Yeah, man, we know Robert Siller.
From Point Michel.
We know him from Point Michel, of course. We know your value. We know your qualities.
Preparing a quick wicket is something that comes naturally to me.
I know, of course, Robert, we know you very well. Of course, we know your capabilities.
But also,
I had to leave this stadium when Pablo said to me, kicking me in my face.
Pablo?
You understand?
Yes.
So I couldn't take that. I told him, man, if you do that, I'll kill you. And I left the stadium for him. You know?
I will just say the pitches are very, very disappointing in the Caribbean.
Western Indies cricket, they're going nowhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely nowhere with this slow wicket.
Yeah.
But you see, this is a result.
Thank you, Robert. Good, thank you.
Yeah,
have a good
It's a result of the boards. I have been saying so. All the previous boards we have had people about bring this one. You have to give attention to what is happening to West Indies cricket. The pitches are very, very bad. So
very docile and sluggish.
If you have to get assistance from out of the Caribbean, you assign the guys 3-4 years. He cannot deliver. Right now, the wickets we have can go straight to Linus. They are dead. They are dead. They are in the cemetery.
They look more like subcontinental wickets that you find in Pakistan and in India and some parts of Sri Lanka. The wickets look like that.
But
that is where Aussie in the Caribbean. That's my point, we're talking about.
Can't produce fast bowlers on these wickets.
We are not doing well in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Where are these?
We lost Luby.
We lost Luby.
We lost you momentarily.
Mr. Lewis, but there used to be a Gregory Shillingford also.
Gregory was involved.
Gregory.
Yes.
He seems to be one of the better guys, but he seems to be on the backside now.
I don't know.
On the back. No, but also the problem is this, and I'm saying so, that is where we come, the concern of what we say about the West Indies, they are not performing. We know that, first of all, the department, when we was, because of the fast bowling we had, we were able to produce proper batsmen.
And great fast bowlers.
And guys who could field. That's also a serious deficiency in West Indies cricket right now. Guys can't, they are girls we have, their hands are soft, they are girly. They have girly hands.
They'll say a guy like Rowley, and you're a misogynistic guy like Rowley. Be careful. That's misogynistic to say they're girly.
But they have girly hands, because I understood in Zimbabwe, we just concluded this qualifying games. We dropped almost 20 catches, almost 20. That is unheard of. Unheard of for West Indies cricketers.
Yeah, that's
so many catches.
Okay, Luby, I think we have another contributor. Yes, caller?
Yeah, good evening.
Yes?
Michael Andrew speaking there now.
Who's that?
Michael.
Go ahead.
Andre.
Remember that. And you had one world playing wicket. We had good wicket there before. Okay? And that's the only man that get 2 contracts under the government to set up cricket in Windsor Park. And as a result of this, when things going back, you just get the right people not in the right position. That's what happened. That's what it is.
Okay, Michael, I recognize
Okay,
the
the
voice.
right people not in the right position. Square
But-
pegs in the round hole. Okay, thank you for that contribution.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is something to me. There should be something that should be dealt with without delay, without this present board. That should be high on the agenda.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're breaking up, Lobby. We can't get you for a while. In fact, you're gone completely now. Okay. Who's that?
Internet problem, buffering.
Internet problem. Buffering, you call that?
Yeah, this would be high on my agenda. The wickets, prepared all wickets, looking for outside help. Outside help. We need that.
Okay, guys. Let's just switch off. Also, something I want to talk to. Some people ask me if I can just tell them about the origin of the Ashes. As also, if I can tell them how the Ashes, why they call it the Ashes series.
You
Jerry.
mentioned that last week that
Yes.
we would deliberate on it
Yes.
this week. Well,
Do
go
you know?
ahead.
Do you know why they call it the Ashes, Jerry?
I heard it from you already.
Yeah.
But
All
you
right,
go ahead.
Let me give a brief history.
Yeah.
Right, Lambi, you know about the Ashes, the origin.
Yeah,
Right,
I heard
okay.
it from Mr.
Because I said one more time. I've said it a few times already. Test cricket began in 1877. There were no Ashes. England and Australia were the first two countries playing Test cricket. They played in 1887. In Australia, they came to England. They played, but the first match where the Ashes began was in 1882. 1882. Australia beat England in England. I think it's at the Oval in 1882. And the English crowd was so angered about that there was a mock obituary in the Sporting Times, the newspaper, the Sporting Times, a mock obituary. Let me just say exactly what the obituary said. Here lies R.I.P. Here lies English cricket. I haven't got it even here, but I know it by heart, I will think. Okay, the Sporting Times, on the death after England lost badly to Australia, the writer in the Sporting Times wrote, as a newspaper, a mock obituary. Here lies, in loving memory of English cricket, which died at the Oval this Saturday, so-and-so, in 1882. In loving memory of English cricket, which died. Left to mourn, all sorrowing and grieving fans. The body, as the body of the cricket, will be cremated and the ashes taken to Australia. Now, they burnt the stumps, a bat, and a few gloves, and formed ashes from that. So there really was a burning, the body. So that symbolized the body of cricket being burnt right on the ground at the Oval in 1882. And they carried the urn, in an urn, the ashes, and took it to Australia in 1882. So that is, we really had ashes. Now the original ashes in that urn still exists, kept at Lord's. It doesn't move. So every time there's a replica, an urn, a replica urn with ashes, but the real thing is at Lord's. In 1882, a fellow called Lord Howe had to go to Australia hoping to win, to bring back the ashes, because they said the ashes will be cremated and taken to Australia. So that's a repeat. It says, here, in loving memory of English cricket, which died at the Oval this Saturday, 1882, left to mourn all the sorrow and grieving fans. The body will be cremated and the ashes taken to Australia. Rest in peace. So how the ashes originated, and the actual ashes is still kept at Lord's. But Australia that year, 1882, put in an urn, it went overseas with it. It's already as a symbolism of real English cricket dying and the ashes remaining.
Because at that time, Mr. Louis, England was dominating.
Well, they had just started.
Just started.
And Australia was dominating. Because cricket started in 1877. Australia won. And they played once or twice again. Australia won again. So Australia came to in England in 1882. That's 5 years after Test cricket began. So right there, Australia whipped England again. So they couldn't take it. So there's a mock obituary saying, loving memory of English cricket which died. And the ashes will be taken and taken to Australia. Actually, they cremated. So also they burnt the stumps.
And the real thing, the real original
It's
thing
still at
is
Lord's.
still at Lord's.
Yeah, from the original
burning
of the stumps, the bales, and the ball, like actual ashes in an urn, still kept at Lord's. But you have replicas of it every time they're playing. So that ashes is like a mythical thing. So when they're playing for the ashes,
for those two nations,
yeah, the two nations, Australia and England. That's why it's so particular. You're playing for the ashes. That's the real thing, right? So, you got that?
Yeah, I got that.
Right. So Simpson, yes. Can you point? Yeah, go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is this, that you're looking at these two countries, then England and Australia. First,
Yeah.
you're looking at it in terms of how disciplined the players are, because the people are serious. They are accountable to their natives. Who our players are accountable to? Who our players are accountable to?
Nobody, no.
I wonder.
Who, when they return home, when the Englishman goes back to England, the English, there's a board, they are the people, they are accountable to the people. The same with the Australians. Who in the Caribbean?
Yeah, accountability is a big thing in any organization, in any system. You're quite right, Louie.
No, that is my concern over this, Ozzy. This guy, Blackwood, he's a reckless batsman.
Very reckless.
Very reckless.
Very, and he's the vice captain of the team,
What do you mean, man?
That's why he got on the stroke of lunch.
But let me tell you.
Lobby not only reckless, Lobby, but I think he's very also unpredictable because he seemingly look like he's in control when he bats. But then suddenly some things just go into him and he gets irrational.
Yes.
The form of recklessness.
You're right.
He gets irrational.
He has got control. He lacks control and discipline when he's
But how
batting.
could you listen to me? How could you appoint a man, a vice captain, but you're a sober-minded person?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, Ozzy.
Yeah.
When you look, I've been hearing about who should be there, who should be there. Some of the players, look at the past players, they are very inconsistent. All right, Hetmeyer is very inconsistent. Those guys are
yes.
Yeah, if I mean about young Bravo. Huh? All this. What must happen to West Indies cricket, Ozzy? First of all, I have been saying so. We have to get back to some serious coaching on the field, because the program that had Sibo said, the captain said in Zimbabwe, we were not prepared properly.
The captain said so, yes.
This is Ozzy. That's unheard of. We're not prepared properly. But craziness, man. The coaching staff should be fired.
For the West Indies to have reached that abysmal depth in cricket is terrible, Jerry.
Well, it's below Associated States right now, Mr. Lewis.
Associated States are beating the West Indies. We can only beat Oman. They call it as Oman. Oman alone we beat.
Old man
is.
No, but something else, Ozzy. The ODI we won 2. The T20 we won 2, and that is it first. Something is wrong on the even number, man.
No, Mr. Lewis, in one of the programs that me and Lander had, I made a statement that I think the West Indies team needs to take a general break and make a general assessment where they are and where they want to be, and then come back with a fresh look.
Jerry, I tend to agree with you.
And then come back with I said so. Me and Lander was there, and I said so that West Indies
break.
Because what has happened there is nothing to build on right now.
You can build on. Go back. Listen to me. As the captain said, you have to prepare. This horrid test, horrid games. You got to, the way we can take us as a sabbatical, Jerry, by not having too many engagements. Spend time on the field. When you tell me that you're dropping all these catches, you're not practicing. Their hands become soft, Ozzy. All right? I remember Blackburns in the Windsor Park. Blackburns had, their own catching. They had in those days in the Windsor Park. I learned to, with the hard ball.
But they have so many coaches these days. They have batting consultants, bowling coaches, they have spin bowling, have mentors. They have about the backroom staff is more than the team. The backroom staff is more than the team. There are about 3 coaches, Tony Benjamin is a coach, Stuart Williams is a coach, Hooper is a coach, Sammy is a coach. There are about 6 coaches, Yeah. Then you have Roll Lewis has been manager for 50 years. Yeah. Roll Lewis has a career. A career, yes, career.
I know managers.
Gratuity and pension now. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That's Ozzy. It's all mass. It's total all mass.
I think we have a caller. Do we have a caller? Hello?
Good night.
Good night.
I did not want to call, but when I heard my partner spoke, I say I must call. West Indies cricket should just take a total break from the game.
I said so, Mr. Barry. I said so. 3 months
Total
ago.
break. We have to reduce the number of engagements we have during the year.
Because what I'm saying is that Zimbabwe, took a break from cricket. They played no cricket in Zimbabwe for a long time.
They are
when we came back with a bang, and as my partner was saying, there are all sorts of coaches, but to me, I don't think the management of the cricket is good, because that partner in Grenada is the manager, and you hardly see him.
Roll Lewis.
Roll Lewis is manager.
Roll is managing the team
for life,
for decades now.
Man.
Yeah?
I don't know.
The guy is always there, Jerry. I haven't seen this guy every tour is
I
there.
haven't seen him in a while.
And they have the coaches. The fellas
Who plays the coach?
Coaching the cricket. You see Ambrose. I give him Ambrose to finish him. When they are playing cricket, he all around the boundary line talking to his bowlers, man.
Coach.
Yes, there's no doubt. Yes.
Ambrose should be the bowling coach.
Yeah, he has that enthusiasm and fervor in him. Yeah.
He's not like these 2 sumo wrestlers.
Yeah.
I do not know why they have Roll as manager of the team for so long.
Well, it's a long time.
And Eswick, they wasn't doing anything. They got rid of them. You got a few fellas now since.
Yeah.
So where is West Indies cricket? That game finishing on Saturday, because 312 minus 150 as how many? 20 runs.
They're 162 ahead.
All Boston have other type of caliber against the spinners.
Yeah.
Even though the wicket is dead, the wicket is what? Them fellas don't apply themselves, man. It was a foolish shot. Fella like Blackwood is a better batsman than that,
Better
I saw
batsman.
Blackwood back in Barbados, and England gave West Indies 196 to win. And Bravo scored 82, and Blackwood just chipped down with the wicket on 4, mistumped by the English wicketkeeper. Because all the Miami said if they had a gun, they would kill the wicketkeeper. What was the wicketkeeping now? I just forgot it. Was it the fella you were talking about? The cricket commentator there was Mac Nicholas.
No, Mac Taylor, man. Mac Taylor.
Not Mac Taylor or Mac Nicholas.
Mac Nicholas.
Yes, of course.
No. Mac Nicholas is a commentator, but Mac Taylor is also a commentator. Mac Taylor is an Australian, openly batting for years. He was the captain of Australia, one of the best slip fieldsmen of all time. Mac Taylor is currently doing the Ashes series.
I know, but
Mac Nicholas is another person. He's another Mac.
He's a good commentator, Mac Nicholas.
Yes, he is, but he's not the person I was talking about. I was talking about Mac Taylor. Right? I know Mac Nicholas, of course. He's a very good commentator, Mac Nicholas. Yes.
Anyway, I hope West Indies can hold on for a draw.
Yeah, okay, Barry.
But
A draw. But listen to me, if it's 2 days gone, right?
2 days.
160 ahead. Right now, there's enough runs to just bowl West Indies by lunchtime.
To bowl them
They
out,
can
yes.
declare now
Mhm.
and bowl West Indies by lunchtime. Match is over at lunchtime on the third day.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Or is it something else? How could you put the teams right in Portsmouth?
Is that right? I want to ask Sebastian to confirm that they're right in Portsmouth.
Yes, in the Continental.
Yeah.
That's where the cocktail was.
What's the place again? Helsinki, they call it?
Yeah, Helsinki.
It's Continental now. It's been operated right now by Continental.
How many miles
From him,
for the minutes of that?
it's
to
about
drive? 30-something
Finally,
miles?
50 something, man.
I am still here. Finally, I am looking for the team for the 100th Test match in Trinidad.
Barry, you still there, man?
I'm looking for the team for the 100th Test match in Trinidad.
Which one?
That team should be a better team than that one.
What?
I don't know what you're saying, but I
I know what now. You have to listen to me. Barry is talking about the look at the players we have there. Look at the
You'll be cut off again.
Yeah, okay, Barry, okay.
Okay.
But let's look at the scores in case people don't know the scores. The West Indies were bowled for 150 on the first day, 150. India are batting. At the end of the first day, they were 80 without loss. They continued batting to the second day, whole day batting. The total is now, at the end of the second day, 312 for the loss of 2 wickets. Therefore, they lead West Indies by 160 or 162. Right. So they've scored, the lead alone is more than West Indies' first innings.
First innings. That is correct.
So if they buy it for an hour tomorrow quickly and want to end the game tomorrow, they can. Because they can, let's say they declare by lunchtime.
But they want the batting practice. They will not declare that.
Yeah, just enjoying themselves batting.
Of course.
They don't do anything. But they could end the game in 2 days.
But Ozzy, I hear Barry talking about a team. This player is talking about a new team. How many of these players presently have an average of 45 runs or 45?
No, nobody has a 45 average.
Thank you very much. So we're talking about a new team. You just recite, new team. Let's bring in a new team.
Like Rifa, bats number 3, his average is 28 or something.
That's unheard of,
And he was formerly a number 8 batsman in the Rifa, a medium pace bowler by 8. Somehow Desmond Haynes, who's the chair of selectors, putting his guy to bat number 3, Jerry. You know what number 3 batsman is?
But Haynes is in the...
Let me call names for you, number 3. Don Bradman, Rohan Kanhai, Viv Richards, Lawrence Rowe, Alvin Calderon, Rohan Kanhai, Greg Chappell, all the Ricky Pong. I call it a great man. You have, what's his name? I call Riffer, who's a tail ender.
Ozzy.
Forcing him to bat number 3. The man's average is in 20. I think he has 1 first-class century. He's 30-something years. There's no prospects for him for the future. What are you doing with Riffer?
Sibo would bat better at number 1. Sibo right now put at that it would be better than Riffer at number 1. Sebastian.
But see, Haynes should answer the question. Haynes is the chairman.
Yeah,
but
why
Haynes,
is he picking Riffer?
Haynes is in the wrong put. Haynes should be the batting coach, not the chief selector. That is where the mistake was made.
Haynes is the poorest selector we've ever had.
Yeah.
Worst selector we've ever had.
But Red said the same thing,
I said so.
This should be the batting coach. And that's the mistake.
Batting coach.
That's
not selector.
And you see, also something else that happened to West Indies. And Jerry, what happened to West Indies? Over the years, we never utilized our past players like what India,
Australia, and them countries doing. I agree, Luby. We could have done more. We could have done better in that category.
Well, boy, there is a sad day for West Indies.
Yeah, it is.
West Indies not qualified to play the World Cup. The winners of the first World Cup in 1975, and they won the second World Cup in 79, and they were finalists in 83. The first 3 World Cups West Indies were either the champions or on the third time they were finalists playing the finals. Today, West Indies can even qualify.
All the associated states are beating West Indies.
Associated teams are beating them.
But they have to, because Ozzy, they have to, because they are preparing. Look, I would have loved to see a training session of West Indies right now. I'm certainly sure people like Cornwall would not last a day of training.
He has a heart infection. Give him a break a little week. Give him a break.
Give him a break.
He's not well.
Not well.
Yes, we have a call. Yes, caller.
Hi, good evening.
Evening. Oh, evening.
Yeah.
Mr. Maynard.
Yeah.
All right. It's 7:43 the time is, right? Okay. Yes, Mr. Maynard, good to hear you. And we are talking about the fortunes of West Indies cricket, generally speaking, and specifically
dismal performances. Consistency been dismal.
Specifically, the fact that they didn't qualify for the World Cup, and associated teams are beating them, and they were the first champions of the World Cup. First two World Cups they won. The third World Cup, they were finalists.
Yeah.
And today they cannot even qualify to make the top 10 teams to play the next World Cup. So we're talking about, generally speaking, playing the test match in Dominica. They scored 150 for all, dismally. India are 312 for 2 after the end of the second day. So, I mean, it's going to be a heavy, massive defeat for the West Indies again by tomorrow or early Saturday morning.
Well, ranking can't go up. We'll stay below.
Right. Right. So, you want to make a contribution, you can join the conversation.
Well, it's just a real unfortunate position which we have to face. The unfortunate reality where West Indies cricket is today. And, at home in your country, fortunately, is in a position to witness your outstanding, young, promising, and definitely is someone who I believe will captain the West Indies team. I don't only think that he will have a long run in the West Indies team. I think that he will elevate himself, develop himself, and advance himself to be the leader in terms of the West Indies team. So that is very, very good news for the Dominican public.
You mean you're talking about young Atanaz?
But I think Mr. Bernard, before looking at captaincy, you have to look at first of all, I want the individual to bat long. That's the thing he has to do. Occupy the crease. He has to occupy the crease. He has to learn to bat long.
Yeah. I mean, what you said, which is very important. But you have none of the great players who would have graced in terms of the field around the world. Many of them did not even pass 25 on debut.
Well,
I'm telling you, right? It is a promising start. I mean, top scored in his first test match, very inexperienced for sure, even at the first class level. Because you have, for instance, the opening batsman for India, he would have scored around 9 first-class centuries, right? And he had an excellent IPL season this year, and they had to put him in the India team. And also, when the present captain of India made the India team, he had 16 first-class centuries, 16, not just one, not just two. 16 first-class centuries, and he could not.
What you have to understand, Mena, is this.
Pardon?
Somebody else was calling me, but the person right now is off.
Hello?
Lobby get disconnected. He was directing a question to you, Mr. Nebad.
Yeah, it can have at least 3 teams now. They can have 3 teams. Their standard is so high. That is how we were years ago. We could have had 2 test teams. India can have 3 test teams, ODI teams. They are producing, they are training, they are practicing, they are serious. We are not serious.
No, you had.
Unfortunately, we do not have the talent. We do not have the talent like what we had before. And I heard someone made the comment on some program, not this station, and a program, and I heard someone made a comment that we do not have enough first-class cricket. And that statement, I mean, I wonder what they're really talking about, because when we had the best team in the world, reign for 15 years from 1980 to 1995, we had the same teams we have now. 6 first-class teams, and you did not even have had them time a second round. You had 1 round, and then you had the best opening pair in the world. You had the best batsman of the day in the world. You had the best middle order in the world. You had the best wicket keeper in the world, and you had the best pace attack in the world. World-class players with a first-class tournament of 6 teams, 5 matches, and we had the best team.
Mr. Maynard.
These guys know. It is about discipline and it's about hard work, because there's no success without hard work. They do not have the commitment, the dedication, and the application in terms of serving West Indies public. They're not interested in that. It's what you put in another sense, is what you will get out.
Okay, let me hear what Jerry had a point to make.
Yes,
let me hear what Jerry has to say.
Mr. Maynard, there was a small consensus just before you came in that we think that West Indies cricket and their organization should take a general sabbatical from the game. I don't know what's your point of view of that. You care to share it?
And recharge the battery.
And Mr. Lambert, who is our host, has also confirmed that Zimbabwe did it. What is your position on that?
Zimbabwe had problems.
Well, yes, and your host there overseas would have said it right. Yes, Zimbabwe, they had the issues.
Yeah.
And work on the problems, and they came back, and they are.
They're still not out of the woods.
You see, the Zimbabwean them also is a combination of problems, different areas where we can say it's seriously affecting our cricket in a negative way. Because, for instance, in Zimbabwe, you do not have the Zimbabwean them playing all over the world in terms of franchise cricket. So you have the best of teams, the best players them available to play for their country in Zimbabwe.
So, Mr. Maynard, are you saying that the West Indians are focusing too much on franchise cricket, white ball cricket, as against playing regional first-class cricket?
Yes.
There's an echo.
That is a fact.
How are you saying?
For instance, if it wasn't for 2020 cricket, I believe that Russell would have played Test cricket. Pollard would have played Test cricket. Pooran would have played Test cricket.
Pooran hardly played a first-class match in his life, you know. Pooran. Narain.
Gentlemen, there's some noise. There's something.
And these guys, when they would have never had the opportunity to be making all this money around the world, so they would have had to. Maybe we could ask ourselves the question. Suppose you had 2020 cricket, maybe 50 years ago. Would Viv Richards and the Greenwich and the Kanai and whatever, would they perhaps would have gone to make the money and play for the franchise because they were the top players in the world. And they would have been able easily to get contracts to play all around the world. So we have to ask ourselves. But anyhow, yes, that is only a matter of debating
and conjecture.
Maybe whatever, yeah. So we have to deal with the future, the present and the future now.
Yeah.
The reality, which you guys asked a very important question, should the West Indies board request a pause for a cause, and we might say an important cause, should the West Indies request that and take a break?
That's Jerry's question,
you know,
yes. Jerry's proposition.
The reality is, in some sense, I think it will hurt the cricket more.
I don't think
Because
so.
guys, every single player in the West Indies would be available to play franchise cricket. And that would be their goal. Many of them, yes, will never make it because most of them get the opportunity from playing in the CPL, and that is how the other teams them around the world.
Mr. Menard, I was going to come in there. Viv Richard, he said he would play T20, but I know for sure West Indies cricket would be his first choice, playing for the West Indies, and the players would rally around him, knowing how vibrant and how conscious he was.
Well, Viv would play all formats, like Kohli. They play all formats. So, and it doesn't affect them. Kohli plays all formats. Viv would just play all three formats.
I listened to all of you. Let me just put in something here. Do you remember the period when Kerry Packer came up with his system? Okay. Some people left. Hold on, young man. Some people left, others stayed. There were those who could not get on because of the team. But when they split up and some went away, those who could not get on got on the team and did well. So if for some reason that we have to arrive at that, if like Jerry is suggesting, if they move away and go to play the franchise cricket, those who are coming up get an opportunity to do cricket, to do real cricket, because what we need in the Caribbean is real cricket, not the nonsense that's going on right now.
I would think, Jerry, I've been following cricket from way back when, West Indies, up to the glory days of West Indies cricket. So I can't believe they're making them
Something
again.
is wrong somewhere, gentlemen.
They're not from the same mold.
Boy, something is wrong.
No, they're not coming from the same mold. You know what a mold is? So we had a mold before. We don't have cricketers coming from that mold. So that same ilk, you don't have it. So they cannot perform like the greats, like Viv Richards, the four fast bowlers we spoke about, all these great cricketers like Kanai, the 3 Ws. All these guys came from a different mold, a different philosophy than today. Today, these guys are playing, most of them are franchise cricket. A white ball is the main thing, is to get on a franchise cricket.
Mr. Louis, here is my point in response to what you just said a while ago. Athanas is a typical example. He has not had the opportunity to go and play franchise cricket.
Yeah,
but
he's not spoiled yet.
He's into the team right now.
Yeah.
The Indian opener, the young man,
Jaisal.
Yes, he and Athanas
Jaisal
were around the same time.
That's correct.
He has 7 Test centuries or 6?
9
Test centuries.
No 10.
Athanas is now getting his chance.
Yeah.
So let us allow those who there are probably other Athanases in the Caribbean who needed an opportunity to get on the team to outplay the nonsense guys we have there. That the guys who don't want to field, they can't bat, they can't bowl. We need young players like Athanas to take the team.
Yeah,
I agree, Mr. Charles.
Okay,
guys, we haven't much more time. We only have about 4. Mr. Minard.
Yeah, Mr. Minard.
We have 3 more minutes. Let's make your closing comments, please. Or you want to talk about the Ashes for a minute or 2? You gotta give a minute to talk about the Ashes quickly, if you want. The great Ashes series.
Let me just say in reference to the West Indies players.
All right.
like the Athenaeus and the others and so. The thing about it is that if these guys get into their franchise team around the Caribbean and they happen to do very, very well, they can get contracts from franchise cricket, the IPL and whatever, and they will not turn that down. So these guys will go and make the big money, and who knows what the interest might be. But anyhow, because we're rounding up, let me just say in reference to the Ashes, I commend my second team, the Australian. Unfortunately, they did not win this last game, but it was an excellent test match. I think it was a test match that the pitch had it moved for the bowlers. No team scored over 300 runs and only 1 or 2 centuries. But it was an excellent test match. Went down, into the 5th day, and we just have to wait to see, because both teams have a chance with 2 games left to win the series. But I will still back my second team,
Australia,
to take the next 2 games and give England a 4-1 nil.
Okay, thank you very much. We have to stop there because we have a minute or 2 left. We have to wind up. And I'm sure Jerry and Roby want a quick comment to wind up.
Yep.
But just to give the scores in the last test match, Australia and England. Australia scored 263. They were put into bat and they collapsed from 240 for 4 to 263 all out. England scored 237, a lead of 26. Australia scored 224 second innings, gave England 251 to win outright, and England scored 254 for 7, so they won by 3 wickets. The series now is 3 matches gone, 2-1 in favor of Australia. So next Thursday coming up, a key test match. I think they're playing at it's not Leeds. They play that's at Leeds. I think it's Old Trafford. Old Trafford. So that is on Wednesday next week. Wednesday 19th. I think it's the 19th. I think it's next Wednesday. It's the 4th test. Very crucial test match.
Crucial test.
But Australia has lost Lyon, the off spinner.
The off spinner to an injury.
For an injury.
For
and
an injury.
That's a serious
setback.
Setback for Australia. Yeah,
I felt so too.
Roby, you want to wind up a quick few seconds?
Yes, Ozzy, have you ever heard any statement from the West Indies Players Union? All unions employ the employees, to produce. Have you ever heard anything from the union? Players Union?
Never.
On that note, Roby, we'll have to say bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Just to repeat one more time that tomorrow morning is a big semi-final in tennis at Wimbledon.
Yes.
Tomorrow at 8:30, the great Novak Djokovic, looking for his 24th Grand Slam, has to come up against Yannick Sinner at 8:30.
Yes.
And at 10:30 at 11 o'clock, you have Carlos Alcaraz, the dynamite boy, 20-year-old Spaniard, against Medvedev. That's 2 blockbusters tomorrow, semi-final at Wimbledon. So Novak, if he gets through,
Mr. Luis, Novak is a frightening player.
He's a fighter, but I hope he does it, Jerry.
Yes,
I
I
would
hope
like
so.
him to
I
go
hope
on
so.
and on.
And that is one of the things, quickly, Mr. Luis, that Roger Federer was very, very frightened about him. Roger Federer once said that when you play Novak, you look like you're winning the game, but suddenly he comes from nowhere and he's in front.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. So once again, tomorrow morning at 8:30, Novak Djokovic against Yannick Sinner, and at around 10:30,
yeah,
from Italy. Medvedev will play Carlos Alcaraz. 2 blockbusters. Don't miss it. Tomorrow, more cricket at Windsor Park. Can the West Indies rally at this stage? Things are looking dismal, but still go out and support them. And once again, we want to congratulate Athanaze on a fine debut. He impressed me quite a lot. Even his bowling was quite sound and quite good. I think he's a very good find.
And I do concur.
Yeah, good. On that note, we say bye-bye until next Thursday. And Ozzy Lewis, on behalf of Jerry Charles and Lobach and Locker Sebastian and Lambert Charles, the indefatigable Lambert Charles, right where he was. We say good night until next week. Bye-bye. And DJ Shan is still here doing his job. DJ Shan. Bye-bye.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of